Hi guys, welcome back to Simply Fujica, a place for budding and aspiring entrepreneurs. Guys, I want to thank you so much for continuing to support the channel. You can continue supporting me by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and then hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I release a new video. Guys, I want to make you aware of a class that I'm holding on the end of March. It's actually March 25th, the last Saturday of the month. I get a lot of questions in terms of, I have already started my home care agency. I am freshly licensed. What should I do? How do I actually get going with my business? How do I actually get clients so I can start operating my business? So guys, I really have heard that question so many times now that I just decided to design a class around it. So the registration link, I actually have not opened registration yet. You can sign up to express interest with the link that's used in the video description. Once I do open registration, I will make sure to get back to you and let you know that registration is open. But guys, this is definitely a webinar that I think you will enjoy and I think you should sign up for. So with that, guys, we're going to transition to today's content. Now, guys, I do want to start out this video by telling you I am certainly not a CPA. I am not a tax professional. I do not prepare taxes in any way, shape, or form. However, because it is tax season, I thought it might be a good time to really talk through how can you prepare yourself for the first time that you file taxes as a home care agency owner. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then stay tuned. Guys, the first tip that I have for you is to get organized. Now, guys, I want you to not be like me, okay? I'm one of those people, oh, it's just the first month. I'll get it together. I'll come back to it. And then it's a year later and I'm really hating myself, right? I'm kicking myself in the butt. As soon as you start accumulating expenses for your business, so actually, as you're preparing to get your licensing, there's a couple of fees you're paying, right? You're paying for your background checks, your fingerprints, and things of that nature. Those are expenses. So from day one, you want to make sure you're tracking your expenses. Now, guys, I know some of you will use QuickBooks. That's something that you can use to track your expenses. I'm going to be honest with you. I pulled down a financial worksheet from Excel, and that's what I use to this day. It's easier for me to manipulate. I feel like I can play with it a little bit better. So I know that everybody's different. Whether you do QuickBooks or you create your own tool, the biggest thing that I could recommend is that you get started today. The second item that I wanted to mention with getting organized is to ensure that you utilize your bank statements just to make sure that you're keeping track of everything, that you haven't lost focus of any expense, any cash flow that has come into the business. You're just making sure that you're capturing everything. Guys, the only caveat that I have with this is sometimes when you make a withdrawal, like let's say you make a withdrawal at the bank, when you go back to reconcile, that withdrawal is going to show up as other. So you really want to make sure, and this is why it's so important to make sure that you're tracking your expenses on a tracker so that you can understand what that other expense truly was. In this way, as soon as you do find that CPA, as soon as you do locate that tax professional, you are organized, you have everything in order to hand over to that person so that they can prepare taxes on your behalf. Guys, the second tip that I have for you today is you want to make sure that you're collecting all of your receipts. What I love about any payments that you're paying online, anything that usually where the money's going out, there should be some type of online record, and I actually love that. So what that does for me is in both of my emails, both personal and professional, I have an expense folder. So as I get these receipts, as I'm making payments, I'm saving it so that as I'm reconciling those spreadsheets that I mentioned earlier, as I'm putting together my tracker or I'm updating it at this point, I'm making sure that I'm going through my folder to see what month I'm on and to make sure that I'm capturing all of those receipts from all of those transactions. My other tip that I have that's in line with the receipts is you really want to make sure that you have a business bank account. Guys, you've heard me say this before. I'm sure you've heard a lot of people say this before. You don't want to commingle your personal funds with your business funds. And so this is a perfect way to make sure that those funds are separate, is to ensure that you have a separate bank account that's specific to your business. This way you can make sure that line item by line item, everything that's going in and out of your business is actually accounted for. Guys, another tip that I want to suggest here is it's kind of a shift. When you're going from working, when you're actually working for a company, you have set up your taxes so that every time you get paid, those funds automatically have been taken out, right? So now you have to shift your thinking, because as money starts rolling in, because you are going to make money in this business, right? So as that money starts rolling in, there really is no big brother taking that money out for you. So this is another tip that I want to make sure that I include in this part of the video. Make sure that you're setting aside some monies to ensure that whenever you do file taxes, and if money is indeed owed, that it's covered and it won't become a shock to you or a detriment to you at that time. By setting aside money, you're going to ensure that you are ready for that tax appointment whenever it does occur. In terms of the amount, how much should you be setting aside? That is a wonderful question for an actual CPA or tax preparer. You should be able to, guys, I don't want to count anybody's dollars here, but if you reach out to a CPA, they should be willing to do a consultation with you so that you can get some tips on how to better protect yourself and make sure that you start off your business in a good way with great habits. So the recommendation here is to reach out to that tax preparer, reach out to that CPA so you can know what those tips are. Guys, the third and final tip that I have for you is find the right tax preparer. Now guys, I say that with all sorts of love. Not all CPAs and tax preparers were created equally. They do have specialties, and so you want to make sure that whoever you decide to represent you when it comes to preparing your taxes, that they know how to do taxes for people who own businesses. So some questions that you can ask a person as you're vetting them through to see if this is who you want to represent you. Do you have any clients who own businesses? How experienced are you in preparing Schedule Cs? Those are just a couple of questions that you can ask to make sure that this person knows how to handle your return. Especially, guys, in the last couple of years, laws have been changing. There have been new laws added. And so you want to make sure that that person has stayed up on top of that to ensure that they're representing you to the best of their ability. You know, those tax laws that can benefit you as it relates to filing for taxes. Guys, the last couple of years we've had a lot of PPP loans, we've had COVID related tax exemptions, things of that nature. So you want to make sure that your tax preparer is up on all of those things to keep you safe and to keep you within compliance. Okay guys, now for those of you who have had home care agencies for a couple of years now, what did I miss? Make sure you sound off in the comments section. Again, this is a community where we all try to share with each other and help each other. So if there's something you want to add to the conversation, I'd love to see it in the comment section below. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. Please don't forget to like the video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I drop new content. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Stay blessed.